Hi, my name is David Conley from the Theatre of Arts here in Hollywood, and thank you for joining us tonight. And a big thank you to Study USA for hooking us up, our partners there. We train actors. That's what we do here in Los Angeles, and we happen to be the oldest theatre school in Los Angeles. We were formed in 1927. By a chap called Ben Bard. It was at the time when they were just starting to talk in movies, and he decided that actors actually needed to learn how to do that, because at that point they hadn't been walking and talking at the same time. We've been going for a long time, and we've got some great alumni here, people like Clint Eastwood, Marilyn Monroe, and we're really a fiercely modern drama school. It's about now. We have people from all over the world come to our theatre school, and we're delighted to train them. We have a very heavy emphasis on camera work. We do actually teach all the courses that you would expect in a normal drama school here, and we think that's important as well. We do have a lot of theatre, we have a lot of voice, we have a lot of movement, but we really are very passionate about courses that aren't being offered anywhere else, but we think are very relevant to actors in the modern world. And for that, we have things like motion capture, we have stand-up, we have improv, because what we're about really as an institution is about trying to make sure that actors have an opportunity to work. My friend Reese is going to be helping me here, and hopefully he's going to show you a little reel about the kind of things that we're doing at the Theatre of Arts. Because as I said, we're very plugged into the community in Hollywood. We have people come in and we have spotlights. So we have people like Blanca Lister, who works for Henson Pictures, and she comes in and talks to us. We have Ray Seahorn from Better Call Saul. If you have a chance to watch that at the moment, she's just absolutely killing it. She's been coming in and she's been giving lectures. I'm just using these as examples. Here we are. Here we are. Here's the reel. This will show you. That's Alexis Woodall there. She's actually the president of Ryan Murphy Productions. And I think what's important about that is that we're talking to people who are in the industry in Hollywood. And we think we're geographically very, very lucky that we're in Hollywood. We have many performing spaces. We have a 99-seat theatre, which we use a lot. And we've also got the Live House, which seats up to 450 people. And then we have events as well, like film festivals. We're actually holding an online film festival at the moment because of the situation that we're in. We were hoping to be having that in the cinema that we have on the campus, but unfortunately we're all stuck at home. But there again, we thought, well, why not put these films online, and we can put them on our website. Our website, by the way, I don't know if Reese can bring this up for you, is toa.edu. So if you fancy watching some of the films that we've been putting in a film festival, you can have a look at those a bit later on as well. There we go. There's our website, the Theatre of Arts website. And there you can see some of the people that came here. Like I said, Clint Eastwood, Mickey Rooney, Anthony Quinn, not bad. And we also had one of the most famous acting teachers of all time, Michael Chekhov. He used to teach here many years ago now. He had my job. For those who know Konstantin Stanislavski, he worked with him, and he's also related to the playwright Anton Chekhov. And then, of course, we come into the 21st century, and we'll show you some of the courses that we have here. As you can see, we have all the acting courses, the traditional stuff that you'd be expecting at any theatre school. And like I said, with a very heavy emphasis on camera, especially in the second year, and combat as well, because there's a lot of use for that at the moment in TV and film, and stage as well. And we also have voiceover. That's probably one of the best ways of getting work when you leave drama school, is that you actually, I don't know, at the moment, you don't actually have to leave your home. You can actually build your voiceover booth in your own home and get work straight away. And as I said, we also have sketch, and we'd like to give you a little bit of history of the influential cinema as well, and industry development, which we take very seriously, because like I said, really what our emphasis in is about trying to get actors work. And we're in that very lucky position because we are where we are geographically. One of the big things and one of the big successes we've had is we're the only theatre school at the moment in North America that has motion capture. We're very lucky to have that on our curriculum. I'm going to introduce you now to our motion capture teacher, because I think he'll probably tell you much better than I could about how it all works and why it is so relevant to the industry. So hopefully I've got Henry Layton with me here somewhere.
Hello.
There he is. What a handsome man. Henry, over to you.
Hey, hello everyone. Henry. Before we get started, Reese, I believe you have a sizzle reel we can show to everyone. Excellent. Thank you. That's awesome, Reese. Thank you so much. So yes, my name is Henry Layton. I'm the motion capture instructor and the stage combat instructor at Theater of Arts. I've been doing motion capture for about 19 years now internationally. Got started with Universal Studios over in Sweden. Started with Chronicles of Riddick, doing the game and the movie. In that game, I was Riddick. I was Vin Diesel, if you can believe that. But that's one of the cool things about motion capture. You can be anyone, anything. I've been a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I've been a creature. I've been a dancer. I've been a ballet dancer, all kind of things. So I started over in Sweden. Then we went to New York to a studio that's now known as Rockstar Video Games. And then I came out to Los Angeles, where I've worked with Sony and Disney. And even done TV shows with Steven Spielberg. He had a TV show called Falling Skies. So I played the aliens and the creatures in that TV show. So that's a little bit about me. And I guess what I'll do is I'll tell you a little bit about motion capture and how it works. There's two types. There's telemetry motion capture, which is you in the suit and how you have the software built into the suit. What you're seeing here on the video, that's my director hitting me, of course. Is optical motion capture. And that's when you're surrounded by anywhere between 40 to 200 cameras. And those cameras capture all of your motions, hence motion capture. Now, here's the thing about telemetry motion capture is that we don't have to rely on all of those cameras. We can do it anywhere. We can do it in the street. We can do it in all of our studios. And that's what makes it really convenient for us. So then you have those two types of motion capture. That motion capture is broken down into two phases. One is in-game and one is cutscenes. So if you're doing in-game, that's where if you're playing a video game, you're just walking down the street, or if you got a gun in your hand, you turn left or you turn right, that kind of deal. Seems very simple, but all of those motions have to be captured. It's vital for any video game or any film or movie for that matter. And then we come to cutscenes. So if you're playing a video game, you play a video game and you're on a level and you beat that level, it cuts to a scene, an acting scene, hence cutscene. So we do these cutscenes. This is where it gets really fun as an actor. You get to actually make your physical choices. You get to be more liberal as a performer. It's not just about stunts, it's about physical acting choices. Now, right here, you're seeing raw data. So once you're an actor in the suit, you'll see that on the right, you have that yellow skeleton, and then we add on the animated mushroom skeleton. Then we go into what's called cleaning up the data. Now, this is what happens after that. This is Big Dave Matty. He cleans up the data for us as the animation. And if you look close, I think you'll see the yellow skeleton within that animated robot. And Reese, feel free to turn up the volume here if you want, so they can see this final output from one of our studios. And action. Shut! And pan up slowly and down. Now, if you notice, the top left corner, you'll see the actor in the live studio synchronized with the real-time action that's happening right here in the big screen. That means you're put live into this video game in real time. And here's the great thing about this. Once you take all the courses at Theater of Arts, as you see TOA, once you take all of those courses, you get this footage to take with you. And the great thing about that is when you're an actor going out to get auditions and you're auditioning for a motion capture or a video game, TV or film, whatever that is, it's so new that other actors want that job as well, but they don't know how to do motion capture. So when you go to that audition, you teach, or you've taken that class and you have that footage with you, you can show that casting agent, you can show that director, that producer, that studio that you already know how to do the job. So instead of you being in competition with all these other actors that have no clue how to do motion capture, your resume, your reel jumps straight to the top. And that's kind of the point of why we teach this class here, because it's so new and everybody thinks they can just try to go get this job as an actor. It's not that easy. But if you have this class and you have this footage, that makes you a step above the rest of the competition that's trying to get that motion capture job. Another way to do motion capture or to get into the business is to do performance capture. Now, performance capture is a little different than motion capture. Performance capture is where you record your voice and your face, meaning your facial choices, your facial features, that kind of thing. And it's also included with the motion capture. Now, there's an instructor at Theater of Arts. His name's Alex Feldman, and he's the hardest working actor in Hollywood. I can tell you that right now. He's been in so many films and so much television, and he's so good at what he does. He's actually gotten work in motion capture, and he's also done performance capture. And Alex, if you don't mind, I'd love for you to talk to these people about your experience with performance capture.
Hey, everybody. Henry, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. Yeah, I last year, I spent a good amount of time working on a video game called Call of Duty, and I did some performance capture. And one of the things that was vastly different from my other experiences that when you're performing, say you're doing a scene where I'm interrogating somebody and it's a physical scene where myself and another actor, I'm hitting him, I'm interacting with him physically, and suddenly a voice comes on, which is the director, who I don't even see. The director is very far away. And the voice says, Alex, take 3 steps back and 3 steps to your left. I'll follow that direction. And then he says, now do the scene from there. So I'm no longer facing the other actor. I'm no longer in close proximity with the other actor, but the behavior that I'm supposed to exude is still exactly the same. So it really was great to be able to rely on my acting training, my acting experience, so that I could envision and sort of commit to the circumstances around me while following the direction that was given to me. So it's a very, very different way of working, but I have to say it's a lot of fun, and I'm very, very glad to have you, Henry, to expose me to some of this wonderful world.
Absolutely, buddy. No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. And it's no small achievement to be in the video game of Call of Duty. It's one of the most world-renowned video games that's ever been made. And speaking of world-renowned, I want to talk about some of that. I want to talk about the technology that we have at Theater of Arts. I want to talk about the suits that I mentioned earlier and that you saw in the video earlier. Reese, feel free to play the London video if you can. If not, no big deal. But the suits that we use are telemetry suits. We have several of them, all different sizes to fit any actor, of course, but the technology is what's exciting. If you've ever seen the movie Avatar, Avatar, of course, is directed by a man named James Cameron. James Cameron, for the past 10 years, has been pretty much making the films Avatar 2, 3, and 4 all at the same time. But he's had struggles just to get the technology to work. So what he had to do is figure out a way to do Avatar 2, 3, and 4 underwater. 80% of that movie is underwater. Now, he was shooting this in LA and in New Zealand before, of course, this coronavirus hit and shut all productions down. But before that happened, what he discovered is that if you use telemetry motion capture, you can do all of the motion capture underwater, and he's using it outside of the water tanks that he has on these large sets that he's in. So that telemetry motion capture, those suits that James Cameron is using to use Avatar, it's changing the entire film industry, are the exact same suits, the exact same technology, and the exact same software that we're using at Theater of Arts. This is huge for us. That means that when you come to Theater of Arts, you get trained in these suits like you see in the top left corner of your video. You're going to be able to graduate. You're going to be able to go out to these auditions for these motion capture TV shows, film, movies, and video games. And those people that are auditioning you are going to see your footage and go, oh my goodness, you already know how to do the motion capture, especially with telemetry technology. We don't have to teach you. That makes you a huge commodity to these studios. Once you're a huge commodity to those studios, you don't just get hired once. And that's the whole point. You want to have job after job after job, back to back to back. That's what's so valuable to you as an actor when you get the correct training to do this job. And between, for David and myself, that's the reason we want this class. That's why it's so important. And that's why we're really proud that we're the only school in North America doing this. It's such a valuable commodity to be had as an actor trying to get started. We also have voice that goes with that. I'm sure we can talk about that later. And I know that there's going to be a Q&A session later. So please don't hesitate. Ask all the questions you want. We're happy to answer them for you. And yeah, David, I think I will turn it back over to you if that's okay.
I'm back. It's good to be back. No, thank you, Henry. I really appreciate that. I should explain that we're a 2-year conservatory. And what that means for international students is that you get the F1 visa. You get the F1 visa, which is actually 2 years, plus you get 1 year of OTP. It is a full-time course. It's not something that we do a la carte, although at the moment we are exploring, because of where we're at, that we're having to do the online courses that we normally do in person, that we are exploring that option. But and that some people obviously can't get into America right now, so we're saying we start our next term in May. If people want to start in May, we can start. We'll have to start it off online. All the courses will be online for the next few weeks until we can actually physically get back onto campus. And unfortunately, in California, we don't quite know when that is going to be. Like I said, go onto our website afterwards or whenever you like, have a look at that. All the information should be up there. I'd like to introduce you to somebody. You've already met him, actually. He needs no introduction. As Henry said, he does an awful lot of film and television, and he's going to just talk a little bit about how we teach on camera here at Theatre of Arts. You've seen him once, but let's bring up the real person, Alex Feldman, if he's still here.
My name is Alex Feldman, and I'm one of the on-camera instructors at Theatre of Arts. This ends now. I'm sorry I let you down. Good afternoon. My name is Louise Allen. I've been suffering from sleep paralysis for 3 years. If anything slips through the cops, your parents are going to pay. Oh, no! 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 ¿Cómo dices? Estoy muy contento de estar aquí. But the American accent, I'm very happy to be here. But the Russian accent, I'm very happy to be here. I will come. If I understand baseball, maybe I will understand America better. In on-camera classes, we equip the actors with knowledge of how to work on the technical elements of on-camera performance, as well as the organic behavior to be captured by the camera. We address how the camera is used on sets and in audition environments, and we try to provide some knowledge for the actors about how to be a good collaborator with the other departments on sets, the responsibility that the actor might have to the on-camera department, to the electrical department, to the wardrobe department, and how to make sure that the performance is collaborative and not just for the actor's benefit.
Hi there, I am Alex Feldman, and thank you, David, and thank you very much, Reese. So I am an actor, and I'm also the chair of the on-camera department at Theatre of Arts. And as David mentioned earlier, Theatre of Arts is one of the oldest schools in Los Angeles. And our tradition goes way back to people, like he said, like Michael Chekhov. And David also mentioned Konstantin Stanislavski. Now, Stanislavski defined acting as living truthfully under given circumstances. And another very great American teacher named Sanford Meisner defined acting as truthful moment-to-moment behavior. Both of those definitions have the word truth in them. And the beautiful thing about working with the camera is able to capture truth unlike anything else. You can lie to your friends, you can lie to your parents, you can lie to yourself, but you definitely cannot lie to the camera. And so at Theater of Arts, we teach the actor how to properly work with the camera in an audition environment and on the set as well. Over the last 20 years, as I've been kind of navigating film, television, new media, and some theater, I have never seen a better time than right now. I've never seen more opportunities for actors than there are right now, with so many different outlets and so many different jobs available for actors. But each style of on-camera acting, whether it be three-camera, multi-camera, or whether it be single camera, or whether it be new media, or even just like this right now, we're all working through things like Zoom and things like Facebook Live. It requires a different type of discipline. And so Theater of Arts incorporates voice and movement, and even like Henry's class with motion capture, it incorporates all those disciplines to equip the actor to be able to be truthful on camera. And while in theater, an actor might have a long time to kind of work on their arc, the audience is there to see the performance from the beginning to the end. In film, television, and new media, the editor gets to decide which bits of the performance to use. And the cinematographer, along with the director, decide which frames, which camera angles they're going to use. And the actor has to remain very truthful and very organic with each particular shot, each particular camera angle. And so our students are exposed in great detail to the various disciplines of how to adjust their performance for different camera techniques, different shots, and even different styles of different directors. As the camera is a little bit closer to an actor in a tighter shot, it's as if the audience is more intimate with them. And so the communication and truthful behavior has to be a bit more subtle. And in the wider shots, you could rely more on your physicality, on some of the combat training that we have here, some of the movement classes that we have here. And so we produce actors who are fluent in the on-set communication, in the language of the camera, and thus they are hireable actors. I want to show a little clip in a second here from one of the scenes that were shot with our current students. And even in this small clip, you'll see several shots. It starts out with a two-shot, meaning there are two people in the shot. And then the first cut you will see will be an over-the-shoulder shot, and you'll see a few over-the-shoulder shots. It'll also be extreme close-ups. These are shots isolating just an eye or an ear of an actor. Obviously, in that moment, the actor just needs to be thinking the thought rather than playing a physical action. And the camera will capture that. This is a comedic scene. We'll watch it. I'll talk a little bit throughout that. And then after the scene, I'll address a couple other things that we teach at Theater of Arts in our on-camera classes. Reese, please.
Sushi.
So there's the two shot.
Tacos.
Sushi.
Tacos.
Sushi.
Tacos.
Sushi.
Tacos.
Sushi. Oh.
It's cutting here to
I'm tired of eating
over-the-shoulder
sushi.
shot.
I want tacos. They're fun. They have a lot of flavors. And what I like most about tacos is
They have a lot of
I like sushi. All right. It's fresh.
That's a close-up.
It looks amazing when it's served. And sushi has everything where it needs to be.
Close-up.
It's perfect.
That's pretty funny. Now, even in a pretty simple scene like this that we do in our classes, you see that there are at least 5 different shots that you saw there. And the actors are doing a really good job of maintaining a through line, maintaining a character arc, and you believe that what you're seeing is happening in real time. But each individual shot was shot separately, as you might understand, and then the editor decides which moment to use when. So the actor has a very important responsibility to the whole entire production process, from pre-production to post-production. We supply the editor with the materials that the editor will then use to create the story. And the ability to make those adjustments as an actor is being directed is one that appears very simple to the naked eye, but is actually a complicated and sophisticated process, which we really spell out and really break down at Theater of Arts. The other thing we do is we talk about how the camera is used in the audition process. And we're all here working from home right now with the quarantine that's currently happening. And the interesting thing about that is we're teaching online classes, and all of our classes right now are dealing with the camera the way that you would at an audition, or the way you might do if you're creating a self-tape for an audition. So it's interesting because the current students that we have working with us this way through the internet are getting so much on camera exposure and so much quick experience and opportunities to try different things on camera. So it's actually pretty exciting for me and those of you who might be joining us in a very near future and will be working online with you will have the opportunity to be on camera so much in the same way that all of us actors do in our self-tape auditions. And finally, to kind of wrap things up, I just wanted to acknowledge that all of the other disciplines in Theater of Arts culminate in creating the well-rounded actor. So what we're trying to do at Theater of Arts is prepare actors for all the different opportunities that might be available to them once they graduate. But that well-rounded actor needs to be well-rounded in each individual discipline of on-camera acting. That's why we provide each individual discipline of on-camera training. Thank you very much. As Henry said earlier, we will have a Q&A session, so I'll stick around and answer any questions. Thank you, Dave. Back to you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Appreciate that. I thought there's one more course that I thought we'd discuss before we go to the question and answer, and that is stand-up comedy. And the person who teaches that is me. I actually nearly wasn't here tonight because I'm supposed to be on tour right now across North America, but that ain't happening. But stand-up is, I think, is one that is actually very important. And the reason is that I was at the Comedy Store a few years ago, and we used to have a thing called pilot season. We don't have such a heavy emphasis on that anymore. And it was just full of lots of people who were clearly actors, but didn't know how to tell a joke or didn't know what a joke was. And I was at the back of the Comedy Store with another comedian saying, if only they knew how to tell a joke, they would get picked up immediately. There's a long history of comedians who have turned into being extremely successful actors, or actors who have found that this is the way that they can get seen. So what we do at the Theatre of Arts is in the final term, we have it on the curriculum that everybody has to do stand-up. And the day they graduate, the day they get the certificate in the afternoon, and then we go to the Comedy Store in the evening and they're part of a professional show. And for many of those students, they are getting paid for being a performer for the first time in their lives. I think what's important about comedy is you've got to understand, there are plenty of people who think, I'm not funny, I would never be able to do that. Don't worry, every comedian thinks like that. We had a girl called Martha, who from Uganda a few years ago, and I'm not sure, Reese, I'm not sure if you were going to show, Reese, we're all obviously working in different parts of LA right now. If you've got the video of Martha lined up, she was somebody who said, I'm just, no way can I tell jokes. Well, after 12 weeks, she went to the Comedy Store and she absolutely killed it. Here she is. Doesn't look nervous at all, right?
I moved here from Uganda about 6 years ago. A lot of people ask me, so why is it like to live in a third world country? I said, it's not that bad. Palmdale and Yemen. So when you get promoted to
So this girl has been doing comedy now ever since, all over Los Angeles. I think that was the first time that she went on stage. Not on stage, but the first time that she did comedy. And the other thing is, it does definitely lead to acting work. We had a guy called Samba Shoot, who came along. He's an old friend of mine, been doing comedy for many, many years. He did a show for us at the Arena, and there's some casting directors in there from NBC. And then he gets his massive TV break on the back of that called Sunnyside, which is now going around the world. You can see Samba there. And I just think I keep having to tell students when they're saying, oh, how do I get seen? Well, when you go to the Comedy Store, you are being seen because everybody, I mean, like quite often Judd Apatow will be doing this set or Chris Rock will be doing a set, and they bring with them their agents, and the casting directors come out to see them, and they will inadvertently see you, and you build careers. And the whole industry is littered with stories like that. Like Tiffany Haddish is a friend of mine. She was doing a Comedy Store for years and years and years, and now she's doing incredibly well, I think we can all say, with a movie career. And I don't think she could have planned that better. Yeah, here's some of the. I can't say that I trained all these guys. I have worked with one or two of them, but you can see all these guys are like #1 actors, but they were all started off as stand-ups. I mean, it's kind of incredible. I remember Robin Williams was asked why after Juilliard did he become a stand-up, and he said, because I just want to be employed. And I kind of agree with that. I think the most important thing as an actor really is employment. We want you to make a living out of this. It's not a hobby. And that's what we're here at the Theatre of Arts. That's what we're trying to do, is make sure that you have a chance to be employable. Well, it's 8:30, so we should actually see if there are any questions from any of the viewers watching here tonight, and then we can see if we can answer them. Or maybe if I can bring up our other faculty, and Reese can come in as well. He was actually a student here before he worked with us, and then see if we can answer any of the questions that are coming our way. There he is, Reese, running the whole show for us.
Let's see.
All right, what have we got, Reese?
So I guess this is a general question.
Right.
How soon can I start?
How soon can you start?
How do I start?
Okay, go onto the website. You can apply. We are enrolling for May now, right now. That would be, the start of term is May 5th. You probably will have to start, well, we're going to be online. So all you'll really need right now is a computer and relatively decent internet, so that we can actually, you can join the class. Obviously, you'll have to apply. You will then, one of the reps will discuss it with you, and you'll have to have an audition, and we will make a decision about whether acting is for you. It's a two-way thing. I always think an audition is a two-way thing. You'll find out as well whether this is something you really want to do. I do think that acting can be taught. I really do. I think if you've got the heart and the passion for it, I think we can help you out.
All right, so if we got any other ones. Looks like this one is for, let's say, probably Henry. What are some things that I can do as far as, trying to prepare myself for a job like a motion capture type job?
There's a couple things. Right now in this time, it could be challenging. But there's one thing you can do at home. Reese, do you have the video from the Aura video about the 150 mark?
Yes, sir.
So what we do is we have to do in-game and cut scenes. Now, cut scenes are tough, except for when you're dealing with someone like Alex. He can make the scenes happen, from your apartment to your acting scene partner's apartment. But when it comes to motion capture, you'll see that we have to do all of the walks, all of the runs, all of the weapons. How you can prepare for that is to come to a stance. Now, the big thing about hitting marks is not just hitting the mark. You have to do it in character. So let's say you're a robot, or you're a creature, or you're a zombie. There's lots of zombie work in motion capture. So what you do, let's say you stand in your bedroom or your kitchen or your living room, whatever it may be. And you have your left foot forward, and you come to your stance, which is called an idle. So stand like a zombie and just breathe. Breathing like a zombie, have whatever malfunction you might have physically. But when it comes to your feet, get some tape if you have it, and tape it around your feet. If you have a sidewalk in your backyard or something, get some chalk right on the ground, a rectangle around both of your feet. Then, as you're seeing this video, turn to the right, and then turn back to the left. When you do that, don't put your head down. Keep your head up, because you have to use your muscle memory of where your idle or your stance is. You turn like that and then turn back and see if you hit that mark, which can be very challenging. Then if you're in your hallway, lay some tape down or just chalk, if you will, or just anything that's in a straight line. And in character, walk with weight. Walk as a zombie in that straight line without letting your feet touch that line and without looking down. That's something we can start right now in your homes, in your apartments, or wherever you may be.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if we got something else. Here's another question. I guess it's for Alex. I know you mentioned Stanislavski earlier and, you know, Michael Chekhov. Are those the only two particular acting theories that you teach, or do you?
No, not at all. I brought those two up just because David mentioned, our school goes way back in its tradition. But at Theater of Arts, we don't particularly subscribe to any one theory. We take a very individualized approach to each student. I mean, our faculty is very well trained and very knowledgeable. So I think that in my classes, for example, we teach from experience in addition to from theory. So you know, depending on what class you're in, you'll be exposed to lots of different methodologies. And if they're ever in conflict with each other, the faculty is great at communicating and explaining which class is focusing on which particular methodology of instruction. So I think you'll be exposed to many different methods and many different teachers.
All right, thank you. Definitely answered it. David, is there any, as far as time limit goes, are we?
Well, we're getting to crunch time. We've got a couple more weeks if people want to enroll for May, and we can make that happen. We enroll, I should say, we enroll 3 times a year. It's 12-week semester. So it's May is the next one, then it's September, and then there's January. At the way things are now, I can understand why some people are waiting till later. The truth is, though, if you are thinking of actor training right now, there are no productions happening right now. So it's a good time to train, because by the time this is all over, let's hope this is all over and that there's a vaccine or whatever, we're all going to be out again. Production is going to have to go into overdrive in 2021, probably around about this time of year in 2021, because all the shows that are dropping right now on Netflix and Amazon, they've all stopped production. They're not happening. So I can understand why some people will be saying, you know what, I'm going to wait till this is all over. But I think there's going to, this is a theory, but I think there's going to be a flood of work once this all kicks off, but once this is all over, probably this time next year. So I think this is a time really to knuckle down and work on your craft. Does that answer your question, Reese?
Yes, definitely. That definitely answered it. All right, so I guess that kind of wraps us up, guys.
That wraps us up. All right, well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Studying USA, and
yeah,
like I say, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, really, thank you, Study USA, and please go on the website as well. It's toa.edu, and get in touch with us, and we can answer any more questions for you. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.